Hello and welcome to this production of Backyard Sports Media. With me, I have our resident backyard Bozos, the stars of the Nosebleeds Show, Josh Barnum and David Hassett. Barnum, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm great, man. How's it going?
It's going. It's going. You excited for the hockey playoffs?
Well, I can't wait. Can't wait.
Excellent. Stanley Cup playoffs are the most exciting playoffs in sports, I believe, and I'm a huge
hands
football
down
fan,
the most intense sports that there is, easily.
It's fucking Christmas Eve.
Every game is Christmas Eve. Every game is nuts. Hassett, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Just hanging in there, bracing
You
myself.
got your couch cushion worn in for some viewing sessions?
Oh man, it's gonna be nuts. I mean, I'm kind of glad they came at us with 3 games to start out the weekend. You know, then they're gonna hit us with a 5 load the second day. But those first 3 games,
I think with a 5 load.
Yeah. At least you get
it's gonna be like the opening weekend of March Madness, man. All these games packed into the first couple days.
I'm telling you, these people have no idea how crazy this playoffs is going to be this year.
Cool. So let's kick over to some of these questions we want to talk about here. We got the Lightning, the Caps, the Preds, and the Golden Knights. So they all finished atop their respective divisions. 1 seed's going into the playoffs. I know it's a little different than the traditional 2-conference thing that we see in a lot of other sports. So it kind of makes for some intriguing matchups. Who's the most at risk of going down in the first round of these 1 seeds? Hassett, let's start with you, man.
Easy money. Washington Capitals. They're so beatable. It is insane.
What makes you think that, man?
We don't even know who their goalie is yet. I mean, they're gonna go number 1. First game, they got
Grubauer.
Grubauer is gonna play. Yeah, he's gonna play game 1. He's been all right, but their defense is just terrible right now. And if Ovechkin can't play like he does in the regular season, I don't know. It's gonna be a tough game. You know, goals are gonna be a premium in this playoff, especially in this series, because if Washington can't score, it's over for them. Columbus isn't gonna let easy goals in, man. Even though
they've spent the season outscoring teams
struggled,
where they're at.
All right, I need to stop you there. Because even if Ovechkin doesn't show up, they still got Backstrom, Carlson, and Oshie that can put the puck in the net, okay? So you can't discount Washington just because Ovechkin is on the team. I understand he doesn't win big games, but they've still got some goal scorers, and they're still going to be in it. So I kind of agree with you that they're out of the number 1 teams, right, that won their divisions, that they're the team that could go out in the first round. But for the sake of talking to you, Hassett, I have to disagree, and I think actually it's going to be the Vegas Golden Knights that are going to be out in the first round. Not because they're not a good team. Like, the Vegas Golden Knights are a good team, and they've all got a chip on their shoulder, and I'm going to be pulling for them. But they're playing an LA Kings team that came out of nowhere. Well, they were back in the standings, right? They went on a tear towards the end of the year, and they've got the goaltending for the playoffs.
Jonathan Quick, man. Quick. You can never count him out in the playoffs. And we've seen it so many times where a team just gets a hot goaltender and they win the Stanley Cup.
Do we forget what Marc-Andre Fleury's done for the past 5 years in the playoffs?
He's a primetime performer in the playoffs. I'll give you that. But he's not Jonathan Quick, man.
And he's been hurt.
I mean, Vegas defense is vulnerable. But if he steps up, it's going to be trouble, man.
If Fleury's doing cartwheels, Vegas is probably not going to lose. I'll give you that.
I hope they don't. I'm pulling for them, but I just think out of those teams that won their division, they're the one that is most at risk.
So here's a question for both of you, and I'm going to start with Barnum, and this is kind of off script, so I'm putting you on the spot here, Barnum. Why is the Caps defense so bad? Is it goaltending, or is it formation? Is it the players not sacrificing their body in front of the goal? Because that's a lot of what goes on in the NHL, right? When you play good defense, you're blocking shots, you're giving up your body. What is it?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I think they're just soft. The Washington defense is just soft. And
like church music?
When you go into playoff hockey, though, it's a whole different echelon. And guys start giving up the body when they haven't been all year, when they've been nervous about injury. playoffs, you'll see guys that are taking pucks to the face when they wouldn't even get in front of it in the regular season. So you don't know who's going to show up for the Washington Capitals kind of thing. But I mean, their defense is slow. Their defense, like you said, doesn't block pucks. They don't get in front of it. I mean, they're kind of surrounded with a bunch of I hate to say it, but Europeans that that really play finesse hockey. They're come on, get in there and run. That's what the playoffs.
That's not Canadian. I think that.
Dave, what do you think, man? Why is Washington so bad on defense?
I mean, they play scramble all the time. I think the series comes down to goaltending at the end of the day. Honestly, I mean, they got two goalies. One goalie that plays great in the regular season because Bobrovsky's been one of the premier goalies in the league for the last couple of years. He gets into the playoffs and he's just picked apart. Yeah, he's picked apart. But then we don't even know what Washington's going to do. I mean, are they going to give this kid a run, or are they going to pull him after the first game they lose?
He's going to have a short leash. He's going to have a short leash. You've got the Conn Smythe winner last year sitting on the bench waiting for his chance to come in. You know they're going to have a short leash on it. And hockey's a little different than other sports. You can have that short leash in net and actually be okay. You can't do that at the quarterback position in the NFL or anything like that. So
no. And I honestly think that Braden Holtby's going to be going into that series, probably game 2 or 3, and he's going to struggle. I mean, once they realize that they're in trouble, they're going to struggle to get some quality goaltending, and that's, it all boils down to who's going to put the puck in the net. Obviously, that's, what wins the game.
You give any merit to, if they make the change, kind of motivating Holtby? I think it's possible that if he comes in game 2, he comes in, he stands on his head?
Yeah, so I think it'll actually motivate the team more so than anybody. Like, a goalie change like that can, especially if you let down a young guy, then you're just going to be even more motivated to make sure that the guy behind you isn't hung out to dry. Especially, right. I can see, game 1, if they're down 3-4 goals, they're making the change right there. And then
I could see some desperation pretty quickly.
There's going to be some short leashes in that series, especially because they're subject to be exited in the first round.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on from that. So we talked a little bit about the Golden Knights. We had some vulnerability possibly for the Golden Knights there. How surprising has this run really been this year? You look at it on the surface. Expansion teams don't normally do this well. They've done well in drafting, and I know that Hassett, you and I have had some conversations a little bit about kind of what they've done to put together the formula here, but they were threatening for the President's Trophy, and that's insane. That's unheard of for an expansion team. What really, in your mind, Hassett, has been the key to their success this year?
Well, I mean, to start out, they wanted to build the front office. They wanted to build it right. But I think they got lucky. I mean, if you look at the list of guys that were – come on. Look at the list of guys that were available. I mean, a blind man could pick that team and be successful. I mean, the guys
that's not lucky.
It is luck. They picked the perfect time to come in. I mean, it's not luck in the sense – but think of it.
They strategically entered this year.
But I'm saying, if it was 3 years ago, they wouldn't have had that kind of talent coming in.
Okay, I can understand that.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm not saying that they got lucky with the guys that they picked. They got lucky with the opportunity to where they had the opportunity to pick the certain guys that may have not been there 2, 3, 4 years ago.
Right.
So
let's see what you got to say, Barnum.
So I agree with that. Like the time they came into the league, it was definitely fortuitous for them. But I mean, you just look, they've got a camaraderie that is very rare in teams in general. And for the first year, that's really cool to see. I mean, they've got 7 guys that have over 40 points. Their goaltending has been
cocaine will bring you together pretty well, though.
Great. Yeah. And I mean, Subban as their backup goalie has played really well when they've needed him.
He saved them early.
I mean, especially when Fleury went down. Like I think he had 13 wins. I mean, that's huge for a kid that really hasn't played many, hasn't started many games in the NHL. So I think it ends up boiling down to some good camaraderie and just everybody. I feel like everybody on that team has a chip on their shoulder. They weren't held by their previous team. So it's been really fun to watch them, just winning games, really.
Good. Yeah, I mean, a lot of team building exercises go on at the strip joints around town, so they're pretty close. All right, so moving on from Vegas, what's your most intriguing matchup of the first round? It doesn't have to be a 1 seed. It can be, any of these matchups. What's your most intriguing one? Barn, let's start with you.
I know Hassan's going to say the same one, but I like the Boston-Toronto series because those two teams are just going to kill each other. So I'll let him talk about that because I'm sure that's what – I mean, the Philly-Pittsburgh series too, that they're just going to hammer each other. But the one I'm excited to watch is actually Winnipeg and Minnesota. I know I'm mostly excited just because I want to see the Winnipeg arena and the atmosphere and just how insane that place is
going to explode.
Hell yeah. Honestly, I'm gonna throw a little change up here. I'm gonna go San Jose, Anaheim. Okay.
Oh, that was mine.
So let's think about it. Okay.
You got two retirement homes.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the reason.
These teams
they're gonna
have
have
battled
walkers and
these teams have battled year after year after year. I feel like they play in the playoffs every single year.
Yeah.
It's gonna come down to Nashville in the finals in the West. But what's the other team going to be? You can shake your head all you want. That's the best team top to bottom in the West. Okay? So I think San Jose Anaheim is going to be a 7-game series. It's going to be that old school hockey, those 1-0 games. It's going to be a lot of fights. It's going to be a lot of penalties. Anaheim likes to get under the skin, get everybody going. So it's interesting to see how that's going to be. And honestly, I wasn't really, I don't like that 10:30 start time because it's so bad, so late. But I'm telling you, those games are going to be action-packed without goals.
Yeah, they're worthy of the DVR for sure.
Terrible. Fucking 2 a.m.
Well, and it sucks too that they're 1-goal games and it's so late. Like I'm always falling asleep second or
yeah. I mean, like I said, it's not going to be pretty.
So close,
you're not going to have 8 combined goals. You're not going to have 5 combined goals. I mean, if we see 3 in a game, that's probably going to be a lot. To be honest with you, that's going to be a grinder. Goals at a premium. Yeah, like they're both good penalty kills. They're both good defensively, solid, on the back end. So I think that's going to be a drag-out series for sure.
Interesting. That was a little bit of a curveball. I was actually going to present to you guys San Jose against Anaheim for kind of the same reasons. They just seem to play. It's a rivalry, California, both teams from California, regional rivalry on top of the fact that they just seem to play each other every year in the playoffs. And they're always good series. They're definitely going to be very physical, even though they're old hips, I'm sure.
Brent Burns has another tooth to lose.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if he's got any chiclets left, but all right. So Stanley Cup final. Let's wrap this up. Let's talk about who's in it, who wins it. Pass it. What do you got?
I'm going Nashville, Columbus.
Ooh.
Nashville in 6.
Columbus in the Stanley Cup final?
I think it's
you
the
talked
year
about
that
how
they
weak
figure
Bobo
out.
was in the playoffs, though.
I mean, but he's so good in the regular season. I think he may have had the off season that he needed. That's a big team. I mean, if they could find a way to slow down Washington in the first round, I think Pittsburgh's probably going to be beat up coming out of Philly because we know Philly's not going to beat them on the ice. They got to beat them in the hands. Right. So it's going to be a beat up series. I think it's Columbus, Nashville in 6.
Okay.
And here comes the Tampa Bay
prediction. You betting the mortgage on it?
The Tampa Bay promotion. Well, you're an idiot. First off, you think Columbus will beat Washington and then beat Pittsburgh and then beat either Boston or Tampa Bay. So I said Boston. Not happening.
It's Boston, but yeah, okay.
I mean, no, you're an idiot. Out of the West, I think it's going to be. I think Winnipeg is. It's their year to go to the Cup. I mean, Nashville looks good, but I think there's an upset happening there, and it's not really that much of an upset when you think about it. They were very close in points. Winnipeg's got some goal scorers. I think the key for Winnipeg is going to be if Dustin Byfuglien can show up like he did in the playoffs for Chicago back 7 years ago, and bury some goals and really put some teams away or put some games away. I think Winnipeg can go to the Cup. And then in the East, I've got Tampa Bay doing it just because Stamkos and they've got goal scorers, man. I mean, I know their goaltending can be shaky, but really everybody in the East goaltending can be shaky in the playoffs this year. There's not really that guy that's gonna, take over a series from what I'm seeing, at least. I mean, it could be Bobrovsky, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I think you could see some goaltenders going to emerge in the East, and I mean, Tuukka, we've seen him have a run in the playoffs with Boston.
He's a bum.
Yeah, but we've seen him have a run, and he hasn't been great
goalie
this year. But Boston's figured out ways to win. They play some pretty solid. They're
They
very,
got some
very
injuries that are going to hurt
sound,
him.
That's true. That's true. So maybe they don't even make it past the first round. Maybe they get upset in the first round. But Tampa does have a lot of firepower. But I'm telling you right now, you can lock it up and write this down. Take it to Vegas if you want. Preds, Caps in 5.
Caps.
Book it.
Caps.
This is how it's going to work, man. Grubauer's got a shot. Grubauer's going to get nuts, and Holtby's going to be stuck
Let me ask
on the
you,
bench.
does Ovechkin make the trip?
Stuck on the bench. Ovechkin will make the trip, and Ovechkin's going to win. He's going to win his first cup. He's motivated, man. He didn't play with Russia. He didn't play with Russia, and they won the Olympic gold. He's motivated.
They're all motivated. They're all motivated. Are you? This is. I have to leave.
Washington Capitals winning the Stanley Cup. That's fucking outrageous.
I hope he's not
right. I'm telling you, this is the year. This is the year. Nobody expects much from them, but they still won their division.
They
still won their division with the worst
division,
with the worst defense. You guys said it yourselves. With the worst defense, they can outscore anybody. They can outscore anybody.
Playoffs. Not in the playoffs. Defense wins championships. Roll back the footage.
Yeah, they've got the defending Conn Smythe winner though.
I'm telling you, they're going to struggle.
On the bench,
they're going to struggle.
All right, so I got a couple bozos calling me a bozo. So before we wrap this up, though, we're gonna stick to a tradition here at Backyard Sports, and we're gonna do a quick little salute to service. Tonight's salute to service goes to Master Sergeant Jonathan J. Dunbar. He died recently, April 2nd, actually just over a week ago. He was killed in an explosion in Syria. 36 years old, far too soon. Service members, it's always too soon because they joined at a young age and, taken from the earth far too soon. Died in an IED explosion near his patrol, and he was part of the he's from Austin, Texas. So to you, Master Sergeant Dunbar, we salute you. All right, so closing remarks, other than the fact that you both think I'm an idiot.
Yep.
Hassel, let's start with you. What do you got, man?
Washington's out in the first round. That's it. It's a done deal.
Huh? No, my March Madness bracket wasn't very good either, so I guess I'll lose my champion in the first round too.
Hey.
Barnum, what do you got?
Steven Stamkos lifts the Stanley Cup.
When was the last time he played a playoff game?
Doesn't matter.
He's been hurt for the last 3 playoffs? They didn't make it last year.
He took a puck to the face. He broke half of his face.
Should have been watching out for that. You know what you signed up for?
I don't know if that's how it works. All right, so for Josh Barnum, David Hassett, and the members of the Nosebleeds Show, this has been a Backyard Sports Media production. Thank you. We're out.